Hello guys, this is Codeaholic. I am Sean filling in for Ravin. Starting today, this episode, there will be a new series about how to create your own blog. This is what the finished product is going to look like. It's very basic. You can't even click into individual blog posts, but you're going to learn what you need to learn in HTML and CSS, and you can do the rest yourself after you have completed the episodes. Let's get started. So this is what you will start off with. This is the template. It should be in the description. Just copy and paste this into your HTML file. Be sure to keep it all nice and tidy in one file, like so. So what this will be, what this will be is just an empty page. It'll be like this, an empty page, and you can see from this a title that is actually this right here. And I'm using a Notepad++ now. You can use whatever you want, but I prefer using Notepad++ because I can do this, and whatever I change here, I can see it over here instantly, and whenever I click anywhere else, it would not go out of focus. It will always stay on top. So I'm going to start by creating the title of the blog. Let me just do h1 and put here code. Now when I click here and press F5, this will show up. So first thing of all, you want to change the style of it so that it will be in the middle instead of at the side. And to do this, you need to link a style sheet, which is this. I have it open in another tab over here. You can switch between tabs by pressing Ctrl and down, down or page up. So I'm gonna go back to the HTML and add a class attribute to the h1 element. I'll name this title. Class is actually an attribute of any element, and it basically just sets the style of any element based on this name right here. So if I go back to the style and I add a class element called title, this would be the style of this because I have set the class to be title. So if I go back to the style and I'll set the font size to, let's say, 72 pixels. I save that and I refresh it, and it will be 72 pixels big. So now I want it to be in the middle of the page. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to create a container or a wrapper, not the hip hop rapper, but the wrapper, haha. Anyways, and I'm gonna give it a class of container. What this will do is basically it will contain this, which is the title of the blog. So nothing will change, but if we were to go into the style sheet and add another class item and name it container, make sure it's the same as what's in this, and I would to put it to be, let's say, text dash align as center. You may be wondering, how do I know all this stuff like font size, text align? It's because I go and read the tutorials on like websites and YouTube often. I suggest that like in between like episodes or like on your free time, you should just go to this website called w3schools.com. They have a very good HTML tutorial, but you see there's like a lot to take in all at once. Unless you prefer that way, like you prefer reading instead of watching a video, you can go ahead. But this video is basically, I'm serving it on a silver platter to you so that you can understand better, and I will answer any questions in the comments. Okay, let's get back to here. Now that I put it to text line center, there, it will go into the middle. Easy enough, yes? So thing is, this font is kinda boring, I would say. So I would go to fonts.google.com to find a better font. So this place, fonts.google.com, is actually not only a great place to find fonts, but also it has like a built-in thing where you can instantly import fonts into your HTML over here. I'll teach you how to use this once I find a good font. Okay, so I found a nice font. It is righteous. So how to actually add this into the HTML is I'm just gonna copy this, go to my HTML and paste it in the head. Anywhere is fine. I'm just gonna leave it on top here and go back to this. Copy this and add it to my title CSS item right here. So now when I go back and refresh, ta-da, very nice. So that will be the title done. Now I want it to have like a background that extends throughout the whole page, kind of like let me show you. Okay, so I'm basically setting the background color to like something dark, because that's what backgrounds are best shade is like dark colors. So I go to this website. It's called materialpalette.com. You can just select two colors and it'll generate the whole palette for you, the colors that you selected. Real cool. Personally, I like indigo and blue. So this actually will be the palette for our whole website. I'm just going to download this. It's very easy. I'm just going to open this, and here it is, opened in my Notepad++. So I'm going to do is actually just copy this, go back to my CSS file. I'm going to put it in comments because I don't actually want to put any of those elements into my CSS. So it's gonna look like this. Basically, like I want the background to be a dark color, so based on this, it should be this one right here. So you can either leave this site open and click on each color to actually copy, or you can just go inside here and find out that this is dark primary. So dark primary color is this. I'm gonna copy this and I'm gonna paste it right here. So this will set the background color for our title. So if I refresh, yes. Now you might be thinking, this looks horrible. Yes, I know, it's horrible, but we can do something to change it to become better looking. So first of all, you can see there's this like white lines. I mean, not white lines, like there's like a space, you know, on top, below, on the right, on the left. We don't want that. So that's caused by like all this stuff right here, the body, the div, the h1. They have things called a margin, which is basically like spacing between other elements. So basically to remove it, you just have to put body. Okay, so I'm gonna put body right here, comma. This is to actually change the style of like the default stuff, you know, like body, div, and h1. These are all like built into HTML. All these classes that we created are actually like man-made, you know, we just created them just now. So to actually change the style of that what has already been existing in the HTML, you can just do this comma and h1 and div. During doing this comma and like all these elements, it basically allows us to change the styles of multiple elements at once. So I'm gonna put margin 0. That's basically it. It should work. Yes, it worked. Nice. So now you might say that it's kind of hard to see. Yes, it is hard to see it. You know, it's dark. So let me just change the font color. Font color is basically this color white. No, wait. I'm going to use over here. They use white, so white it is. So, yep, looks kind of clean, very nice. But then you might say, oh, it's also very small. No worries, I shall make it bigger by doing height. So this basically just sets the height of the element. So what this does is, let's say I want it to be 200 pixels high. So when I refresh, look, it is now 200 pixels high, yay! But the text is on top, which is not good. And CSS doesn't have like a good way to fix this. So like a roundabout way to do it is actually to do this line dash height and 200 pixels. Basically this have to be the same as this. Line height, I'm not sure what that is, to be honest, but it works in aligning it vertically. So when I refresh, there it is now aligned vertically. So I haven't shown you what we are going for, but basically what we are trying to go for is, this is the web page. Sorry for the crude drawing. This is our title. As you see just now, this will be, and down here will be another container that's going to be containing all our blog posts, and the blog post is going to be in cards as you know from the first episode that Ravin has went through. Let's work on the container right now. This is just title container. I think I should just rename it. Yeah, title dash container. Title dash container. There. Better. Okay. So now I'm going to create a container for the blog posts. So to do that, I'm going to just put a div again, because div stands for divider actually, and it's the best way to actually separate elements, a group of elements from each other. Class blog post container. There you go. So what we want our blog post container to be is like basically this outside thing here. As you already know, we have to set the width. So width is kind of straightforward, isn't it? Width, and that looks like it's around 80% of the screen. So 80% it is. Yeah, straightforward indeed, I know. F5. Now you might see nothing changed. That's because there's nothing in the div. It doesn't have anything to render, so it renders nothing. So let's just put like a H1 here and says like hello world. Now you might see that yeah, it's in the site, but then if you go to F12, you press F12 in like any browser, it'll show you the inspect elements. So you can see this is actually not fully to the side. So that means it's working. So what we're gonna do is actually go over here and put text align again to be center. There you go. And now it is centered. But wait, the div itself is not centered. This will be something you run into if you were to try to do this by yourself. But I have already went through it and I understand how it works. I'm going to tell you how to fix this. Basically, just put margin 0 and auto. That's it. And when you press refresh, it should do its job. There you go. So now when we press F12, let me just move this up a bit. You can see that indeed it is 80% wide and in the middle of the page. So that's what we want. But you see, it still uses that awful font. You know, we don't want that. So let's just go back to fonts.google.com and let's browse for a nice font. So this font, Encode Sans, is a font I chose. It looks very clean. Let's just do that thing again where we copy and paste it right here, and there we go. And now when I refresh, it is now that font. So that is what we have so far.